piece of bark with a curious shape was peeling off what was left of the tree. At the moment, Teku had no interest in it. In that state, those pieces of fruit were of no use to him. Teku found a small monkey playing inside the tree. It had probably climbed inside to get out of the rain. Teku decided not to bother it. Mesmerized by the light of the flash, the strange insect turned to Teku. The poor mother monkey had lost her baby. Maybe Teku could help her find it. On the ground, there was a girl digging in the mud. She was using a small spade to collect mushrooms, which she then put into her backpack. She was so focused that for the moment, Teku saw no reason to bother her. On that part of the ground, the earth was very damp and disturbed. It would be easy to dig there with the right tools. Teku could see a sort of basket floating in the well.
네, 뺏었단 말. 빠빠뽀로 또 깐자? Chupeccaci yuyo. Kawin, pirituche. Watapinyen. 네, 뺏었단 말. 빠빠뽀로 또 깐자? Kawin, pirituche. Chupeccaci yuyo. Watapinyen. Chupeccaci yuyo.
The young explorer traveled all over the world in search of the most unique mushrooms. To get her to help him, Teku would have to find a mushroom with pink spots. No doubt this was the baby that had been lost by the mother monkey. But to be able to take it to its mother, Teku needed something to transport it safely. Deeply grateful, the mother monkey offered to help Teku climb up to the treetops. They waited until the rainwater soaked the strange seed. Suddenly, the ground started to vibrate. Amazing! The gigantic plant was protecting the candle from the rain.
Veríamos placebo. Harimmo per vina poma. Piccoli vocombe. Comise pila obispe. Divo becco.
The strange character had no doubt lost his mind. Something in that cave had horrified him. The only thing Teku understood was that the man had been painting on the enormous wall behind him for a long time. was Yucca, the shaman. He had finally found him. The Wakchas carried him inside that cave. Teku would have to find a way of getting the gigantic stone door open again. Teku studied the shape of those branches. Suddenly, he had an idea. With the right objects, he could put together a substitute for his friend. When the pot started to boil, the little vegetable changed color, turning red. Teku already had one of the ingredients he needed for the ritual. Without asking for anything in return, that troubled man had ground up the pearl in his mortar. They appeared to be udders that were growing out of the tree. A bit disgusting. If there's no other choice... The lever that looked like it would start up the strange artifact was broken. Teku would have to find a way to repair it. Maybe that blacksmith could help him repair the lever.
Minchu, pasto te chepa tatapa. Chingu palo que amigo, chalupa caranca, sale peto coque. Ataque mocho luca, poco chorro. Patata borruño, chalpica coco, sana chamanca.
In exchange for the repair, Teku would have to relight his furnace.
Ataque mocho luca, poco chorro.
The blacksmith bid farewell to Teku with gratitude. His forge was back in operation. Teku studied that piece of bark more intently. It was the same shape as his captured friend's mask. That gave him an idea.
Nos placemos.
When he inserted his candle into the old artifact, a beam of light was projected on the great mural. There it was, a hidden painting. Teku could now contemplate the painting fully. At the center of the mural, there was an enormous monster letting out a terrifying laugh. Under its feet, people were doing all types of tasks. He understood then that this terrible vision was what had driven that man crazy. But what was that creature? And why did the tribes seem to worship it? drum had risen up out of the ground when he inserted the jewels into the statues. To make it sound, he needed the right instrument.
Chuta kala!
He couldn't just pull on the rope and rescue his friend. When the Wakchas realized that the prisoner had escaped, they would sound the alarm, and then it would be impossible to open the stone door. He would have to deceive them somehow.
Koke machin! Wata! Chuta kala! Teku ubi po! Koke machin! Wata! Teku ubi po! Chuta kala!
Parina, chango, bis luga. Junko, anana.
Koke machin! Wata! Koke machin! Wata!
As soon as he took his first steps in the tunnel, the gigantic stone door closed behind him. The light from the candle bounced down the narrow stone passageway while he searched for some clue that would lead him to the shaman. When he pointed his tenuous light at the ground, Teku thought he could make out the footprints of Wakcha and his captors. He was slowly bending down to study them, when suddenly he noticed that several dark forms were emerging from between the rocks. It was a trap. When he stood up, Teku received a sharp blow to the head, and he saw no more. Teku, open your eyes. Come on, wake up. Teku sat up slowly. It felt as if his head was about to explode. Up here, by the light of the gods. I didn't think you survived the attack on the village. How did you manage to get here? I was starting to think all was lost. Despite being locked in those cages, master and apprentice couldn't hide their joy at finding one another. Teku told the shaman how some people had managed to survive the fire. He spoke of his adventure in the marshes, of how the monkeys had carried him in flight through the trees. Wakcha was astonished by what his apprentice was telling him. They talked about this for a long time. Then Teku asked about the strange creature they all worshipped in the painting on the wall of the cabin. His master's expression suddenly turned serious, as if it was something he would have preferred never to have to speak about. It all started long before your birth. As you know, our ancestors were born after the fourth destruction of the world. Since then, we've populated the earth and tried to honor the gods, whose wrath could bring on another cataclysm. Living in harmony and respecting this world should be our very nature, no? But there is something inside us, a dark corner inherited from the primeval night, that makes us place greed and power before all the good we might create. The confrontations between tribes started up again, and fire, once a symbol of wisdom and a sacred gift from the creators, began to be used for destruction. We seemed doomed to repeat our fate. But this time we weren't alone. After the first eons, a creature of great power rose up in the mountains. A gigantic being with the face of a bird, full of wisdom and light. It showed us how to rebuild the cities and recall the teachings the ancients had forgotten. The tribes called him Teku. It's the same creature you saw in that painting. But the monster Teku had seen in the painting was terrifying. More like a tyrant than a wise leader. His deep, almond-shaped eyes reflected insanity. Seeing his apprentice so confused, Wakcha continued with his story. For a time, under the teachings of Teku, the ancients were able to prosper. Until, little by little, They started to worship him as a god. Then some of them started to perform sacrifices in his honor to gain his favor and attention. In this new situation, the tribes became divided. Some started to capture prisoners from other villages to offer up in sacrifice to Tezca. Others abandoned their homes in search of some place far from all that madness. Our ancestors even dared to cross the sea. But that night, we met up with our past again. There was something in that story Teku couldn't understand. As he was telling it, the shaman vacillated, as if he were hiding something. Why would a creature as wise and good as the one Wakcha was describing allow itself to be seduced by terrible sacrifices? Nevertheless, before he could ask, the conversation was cut short. Hanging from the belt of the warrior, Teku could see a bunch of keys. These could be the keys to the cells. Now, he had to put his mind to getting them and escaping.